everybody to our meditation session. Um, I love it actually if you have your cameras on when I chat, so I don't just stare at a screen and a bunch of pictures. So thank you, Vicky. And you will not be recorded, just so you know. I will be recorded. And then once we meditate, do whatever you want. Turn it on, turn it off, whatever works for you. Um, I'm so glad you're here. I love meditating with you guys, and I love that we're all I kind of always feel like we're sharing the peace and that we create like our peace train here. And it's easy, meditation, just getting together, sitting, meditating together. It's nice, it's easy, it's a nice break from work. But I also feel that the peace that we create with this in ourselves also radiates out to people that are around us. And who knows how far reaching those results are? I don't know. I mean, there's been some studies many years ago. I heard about studies with transcendental meditation that when they had large gatherings of people meditating, that the crime rate in the particular city would go down. I mean, they were able to actually see that repeatedly, which it's kind of mind-boggling, right? But at the same time, why not? And I think the opposite might be true too. If we have a bunch of really aggressive people together, it might be that we all kind of sense that as well. So, I feel that this is one of the things that I can do to help the world by creating peace within me and sharing some of the techniques with those around me. And then hopefully also just that my energy by itself can also support peace in the people and situations around me. So that's why I'm doing this. It's kind of a selfish act, honestly. If you're all more peaceful, then my life is more peaceful too, and the world is more peaceful. But I'm glad you're here, and welcome for those, especially that are here for the first time. And I sent out I actually wanted to remind you all that if you're on the email list, then you actually get reminders for the email. Sometimes I share like, oh, I'm going to talk about this or that on Monday, and I've also learned to not always say that because sometimes then I change my mind, in the 2 days in between. And now I feel like I'm stuck with the topic I chose. So, just trust me that there's all kinds of new topics always flooding in. Um, but actually today, even though I had in mind that I was going to do a lot of talking, I realized I would love to just meditate with you guys. So unless you have any specific questions, anything you would like for me to address today, you can feel free to put that in the chat. But otherwise, I would just like to guide you in a mindful body scan meditation, kind of combining it with a mountain meditation. Oh, yeah, Jennifer, I always look forward to Meditation Mondays myself. Perfect. All right. So I will guide you through everything I suggest are basically just that, suggestions. If I suggest something like close your eyes and you're like, nope, I don't want to close my eyes, then just don't. Or if I say focus on this or feel that and you have a different plan, that's fine. Do whatever works for you. What I do like to start with is just a few deep breaths. And if you've been sitting all the time, then maybe you want to stand up for just a moment. I'm going to stand up and show you 5 long breaths, and I'm moving my arms together with that. So it's up to you. If you're in a situation where that standing up is kind of strange, you can do it, then just stay seated and just do it. Just imagine that you're doing the movement as well. So the breath looks like this. I'm going to breathe in. I'm taking my arms up overhead. And then as I breathe out, I lower my arms back down. And that can be just like this, through here, or just sideways, up to you. So let's do 4 more like that. Long breath in, ideally through the nose, and a full breath out, either mouth or nose, up to you. Find your own pace. I can literally lose count when I do 5 breaths. So, because I'm chatting here at the same time. So if I do an extra one, forgive me. I'm going to do 1 more here. And I reach up a little extra here. Oh, that feels good. And then breathing out. Good. Shake your arms out. Shake your shoulders a few times. Hike them up and drop them down. Good. Maybe shake your legs if you're standing. You can't see my legs, but I'm just shaking my legs out. Kind of like one of those dancey kind of things. All right. And have a seat. Now, it's important when you're seated that you're sitting comfortably, but that doesn't mean sitting slumped or slouched, because actually then you have a very big tendency of falling asleep during your meditation, and you really want to stay alert. So, just sitting back in your chair using the support, or if you're actually kind of sleepy and you're worried that you're going to fall asleep, then sometimes it's better to sit a little bit more on the edge of your chair actually, and not be fully supported. So you have to stay upright and you stay more alert. But I'm going to sit all the way back in my chair, and then placing your hands on your legs, and the palms can be facing up or down, or like I like to cradle my hands one on top of the other. Find out what works for you. And allow your shoulders to relax away from your ears, and make sure your feet are flat on the ground. If anything is uncomfortable about your clothing and you're in a place where you can change it, do it. And then I allow my eyes to close, and you can do the same. Allow your eyes to close, or maybe just cap your eyes, which means you're kind of gazing down towards the floor. Making sure the microphones are muted. Just if something happens around you that we don't all get to hear it and get startled. I see, yep, there you go. Thank you all. Good. And now let's start by just hearing any sounds that are happening around us. Sounds in the room you're in. Sounds from your own body. Maybe even sounds from outside of the room that you are in. And then make sure to have an attitude of simply accepting whatever sounds are there. Sometimes we're trying to get the perfect environment, and it needs to be quiet and peaceful, but that's not always realistic. So simply accepting that whatever sound is there is just meant to be there, and we can meditate with sounds. Notice if there's any particular taste in your mouth. Maybe you just had lunch or you had something to drink and you can still taste it. Notice the thoughts that are moving through your mind. Can you observe those for a moment? Sometimes there are thoughts of just like a running commentary, or sometimes they're like thoughts about things that just happened or that happened a long time ago. Sometimes there are thoughts for the future, planning. And you don't need to actually figure that out. Simply notice that there's thoughts moving through your mind. And then I'm going to guide you through a mindful body scan. When we're doing this body scan, make sure the posture stays upright, comfortably relaxed, but upright. The head is above the shoulders. The chin is really lightly tucked. So please, if you just joined us, please turn off make sure you mute yourself. So your neck is a little bit lengthened. Feet are on the ground, legs are a little bit apart, not crossed or anything. And we sit in what's called a dignified posture. So the chest is really a little bit lifted, but we do all that with minimum effort. Now, as I'm going to guide you through the body scan, we're not actually trying to create anything in particular. We don't try and create a particular experience. It's really more of a bit of an adventure, guiding ourselves or awareness through our body and simply being curious about the different sensations we might encounter. The only exception is that I sometimes will encourage you to see if you can soften or relax an area. But then if you can't, then simply accept that there's some tension in the body. That's okay. Let's start from the bottom and work our way to the top. We're starting with the right leg, and I'm inviting you to become aware of your right foot. Feeling your foot as it's sitting in your shoe, maybe. Maybe you're fortunate and you have your shoes off. And just feeling the different sensations at the bottom of the foot, the toes, ball of the foot, the heel. And so again, we don't try and create anything. We simply notice what is there. Maybe you feel a sense of pressure, warmth or coolness, tingly, flowy. Whatever sensations are there, we just simply accept them. And then feel the top of the foot. And notice if you can feel all the toes separately or if it just feels more like a block of toes. Again, doesn't matter what the answer is, simply notice that. And then noticing the ankle. And the right lower leg. Perhaps you feel clothing touching the skin, temperature, pressure. You might feel sensations that feel more pleasant or more unpleasant. But see if you can look at it all a bit objectively. No stories. You don't have to define anything. You just feel. Right knee. Bottom of the right thigh. Feel where there's compression from the thigh caused by the surface you're sitting on. And the right top of the thigh. Might feel where your hands are resting on the thigh. If you encounter any unnecessary tension in the right leg, see if you can let it go. And if not, then simply accept that there's some tension in your leg. Now feel the entire right leg from the hip to the tips of the toes. And then briefly notice how there's a real difference right now in the sensation between right and left thigh because you haven't given the left any attention yet. So you might have more awareness right now of your right leg. So let's move our awareness to the left, starting with the bottom of the left foot. Feeling the toes, the ball of the foot, the heel. And then the top of the foot. And then notice on this side, do you feel your toes separately or just do you feel like a block of toes or perhaps you feel your big toe and then the rest of the toes or just simply notice that. Just be curious about it. And then notice your lower leg, the back side, the front, the sides. allowing whatever's there to be there. Feel your left knee. Then the back of the left thigh. Again, feeling the compression of the thigh resting on the chair. And then feeling the top of the thigh. And then notice your entire left leg from the hip down to the toes. So the awareness we use when we do a mindful body scan is a sense of curiosity, not judging, sense of acceptance, and also a sense of kindness toward ourselves, just kindness in the way we experience our own body. Now feel the buttocks as they're sitting on the chair. And if you happen to be lying down, just modify my instructions. And then bring awareness to the lower back. Notice where your lower back may be supported by your chair. And feel the sensations present in the back. Again, with the back, if you find any unnecessary tension, see if with an out breath you can let go of that tension. Do not try too hard, though. And if the tension decides to stay there, just simply accept it and allow it to be there. And then mentally bring your awareness up higher, the mid back and the upper back, feeling where there's support and feeling the subtle sensations of breathing. A little expansion happens on the in-breath. A little lifting of the ribs happens on the in-breath. And then a lowering happens on the out-breath. Rising and falling. Allowing the shoulders to relax away from the ears. Then bring awareness to your right arm from your shoulder, through the upper arm, the elbow, the forearm, and then the right hand. Feeling the palm of the hand. Typically, that's an area that's pretty rich with sensations. Tingly or warm, swirling sensation perhaps. The back of the hand. And notice your fingers, your thumb, index, middle, and ring fingers, and your pinky. Allow that arm to be soft and heavy. And then noticing the left arm, shoulder, upper arm, elbow, the forearm, And then feeling the hand, starting with the palm. The back of the hand. And the fingers. Allowing the hands to be soft, relaxed. And allow the entire left arm to be soft, relaxed, heavy as well. And bring the awareness to your face. Forehead smooth. The eyes are softly closed or slightly relaxed open. And feel the space between top and bottom teeth. Your tongue relaxed in your mouth. And the jaw muscles soft. Allow your face to be without expression. And then notice how your breath is gently moving in and out through the nostrils. Cool air moving in and warmer air moving out. And then also feel that on the in-breath, there's a bit of a rising of the chest and the belly. And on the out-breath, there's a falling of the chest and the belly. So as an in-breath, belly expands, belly rises. And on the out-breath, the belly sinks back down. And for the last few minutes, allow yourself to just be entertained or charmed by your breath as it's moving in and out of the body. If the mind goes elsewhere, just simply kindly bring it back to the breath. Whole body relaxed. Whole body supported. And then go ahead and with your eyes still closed, if they're closed, rub your hands together vigorously until they get nice and warm. And then once they're nice and warm, you can place both hands over the center of your chest, allowing the warmth of your hands to penetrate your chest, your heart, giving yourself a hug. And take a deeper breath in and a complete breath out. And then with your gaze down, open your eyes if they were closed, just looking at your legs or at the floor, and simply notice how you feel. And when you are ready, allow yourself to lift your gaze. And you may consider placing your hands together in a namaste position. And you can bow your head to yourself and honoring yourself for showing up, and honoring all your meditation friends for showing up as well. A whole bunch of us today, which is fantastic. And I hope you will practice body scans or other meditation techniques yourself, even if it's a minute, to just feel your body and making sure you stay in your body and not like your mind's kind of outside of your body. I wish you all the best. I wish you a wonderful 2 weeks, and we will meet again. Namaste.
Namaste.